Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Erik Spoelstra's honest review of new Heat players after loss to Celtics. As the Miami Heat lost to the Boston Celtics on Monday night, 103-85, it was also the debut of newcomers Andrew Wiggins, Davion Mitchell, and Kyle Anderson. All were involved in the trade that sent former Heat star Jimmy Butler to the Golden State Warriors as head coach Erik Spoelstra spoke about the performances of the recent additions. The three players would get some extended looks due to the absences of Heat star Tyler Herro and Jaime Jaquez Jr., even Wiggins and Mitchell would be in the starting lineup. Despite the team scoring their lowest point total of the season, Spoelstra expresses the potential of the acquisitions. I see the potential in all three of them. I think they can be big-time value adds to what we're trying to do, Spoelstra said. We want to get them as comfortable as possible. I think Wiggs, once he gets really comfortable, you can see that the areas that he can help on both ends of the court, but he's a weapon, offensively, defensively, he can really move. He has that kind of length and unique ability to move laterally. And then the other two guys, they'll fit right in defensively with what we're doing. One player who isn't worried about easing the newcomers in with the team is the Heat's captain Bam Adebayo, who said after the game that Spoelstra is one of the greatest coaches in history. How quickly? I mean, we have one of the greatest coaches in the league, in history, actually, Adebayo said. So I'm not gonna worry about how quick it's gonna be for them. It's the first game for them, obviously, they are trying to figure out what shots to take, buy into the system. And once they do that, we'll make a couple runs. While Adebayo led the team with 22 points and 12 rebounds, Wiggins would finish the game with 11 points on an inefficient 3 of 12 shooting from the field. Even though he is still gaining chemistry with the others on the team, he expressed his excitement to be with Miami after the game. It's the NBA, when you get traded mid-season, you got to figure it out, Wiggins said on adapting to his new team. Something we're trying to do. Great teammates here, great coaching staff, and everyone's been wonderful to me. I'm excited, we didn't win today, but we got a lot coming down the stretch. Wiggins' teammate in Golden State Anderson would come off the bench but had a frustrating debut as he missed all of his 5 attempts from the field. Mitchell, on the other hand, had some standout moments despite finishing with 4 points and 4 rebounds. He not only showed off his defensive intensity but also his playmaking ability, as his passing was impressive in the aforementioned absence of Herro. He had a strong proclamation about his expectations for the defense while also acknowledging what needed to be fixed. It's gonna be really hard to score on us, Mitchell said. I think that we got a lot of players that can move their feet, like I said before, we got Khalil on the backside, he can block shots, who can also get rebounds, who's a really smart defender. He's still young, but he's still learning. He's day and day, especially when you got Bam teaching him, and you got Bam that can switch on to anyone 1 through 5. It makes your defense a lot harder to score on, honestly. But we got to carry on to 48 minutes, Mitchell continued. Like Coach said before, we got to keep building on it, we did good in the first quarter, and then we kind of let them hit shots, and then they got confidence, and then we got discouraged. So I think that they will do a better job next time. Though the debut contest for the new players was a disappointing one, they can't dwell on it too much as they now go on the road for 2 games, then the All-Star break, and finish with a 3-game road trip. Mitchell spoke to Clutch Points about the whirlwind of his season, having to move teams and overcoming the obstacles ahead of Miami. We just can't get down, we can't feel sorry for ourselves, because no one's going to feel sorry for us, Mitchell said. We got another good team who we're about to play against, the number 1 defense in the league. You got really good players over there. So we just got to figure it out. I think the main thing is we go out there and play hard, take the same shots we took tonight. I mean, I feel like we took a lot of open shots, we were just missing. so some of those will fall. Heat's Jimmy Butler trade additions debut dashed by Celtics romp. As the Miami Heat looked to ease their new players in the game plan, it didn't work out Monday night as the team lost to the Boston Celtics, 103-85. After the Heat traded away Jimmy Butler, the game marked the debut of Andrew Wiggins, Davion Mitchell, and Kyle Anderson, though it was one to forget. Bam Adebayo led the game with 22 points along with 12 rebounds as Alec Burks was next with 13 points where he got the start on Monday. Wiggins would finish with 11 points on 3 for 12 shooting from the field, Mitchell had 4 points along with 4 assists, and Anderson finished with 0 points. We're gonna have to work on it. You know, spacing, decision-making, that's actually been 2 consistent games the last handful of weeks, and we're gonna continue to work on it until, we get more confidence on what's working for us, Spoelstra said after the game. And there was times where it looked disjointed, obviously. And against a team like Boston, you have to execute with intention and purpose, Spoelstra continued. Otherwise, they can flatten you out with the switches or with just the size at the rim. So you're constantly going to have to make decisions. The decisions end up being a little bit clearer if your spacing is better. But that doesn't solve everything. It still ends up being decision-making. When you have the ball in your hands, and then that's what will get better. Here are 3 takeaways from the Heat's loss to the Celtics. The start of the game for Miami showed a slight glimpse of what to expect from the Heat's new stars in Wiggins and Mitchell, as they both got the start Monday night against the Celtics. This was in part due to the absence of Heat's Tyler Herro, who missed the game due to a stomach illness that he woke up with. Wiggins was likely to be in the starting lineup at some point due to his experience, talent, and what he's done in the league so far, especially with the team needing a small forward/wing after trading Jimmy Butler. The 29-year-old fills in that Butler void in some facets beyond the former Warrior donning the number 22 for Miami. He would score the first 3 points of the game after getting fouled beyond the arc, and in Miami's next bucket, it was Mitchell making the newcomers have the first 5 points for the team. Mitchell was an early standout, especially in the playmaking department, not as his passing was on display, running 2-man actions with Adebayo and even finding Wiggins in a beautiful cross-court pass. Boston would struggle in the first period, especially from deep, shooting 2 of 18 from deep, but would find their groove in the second quarter, where the Heat would start to struggle tremendously. At one point, Miami would be outscored 21-5 in the period as it resulted in a frustrating first half. Heat predicted to acquire $76 million guard via buyout to complement Tyler Herro. The Miami Heat clearly have a desire to continue competing in the Eastern Conference, which was made apparent by their return package in the Jimmy Butler blockbuster trade. Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, and Davion Mitchell are win-now players who fit nicely alongside the star tandem of Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo. Although the trade deadline is past, the Heat's front office could turn to the buyout market for additional talent. YouTube channel Heat Report by Chat Sports predicts the Heat will acquire Washington Wizards guard and former Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart if his contract is bought out. But he, Bruce Brown, is not my number 1 target. That would be Marcus Smart, YouTuber Nick Roloff began. It's unclear if they are going to buy him out. You'll have to see if Smart wants to get bought out. Smart really doesn't fit with that group. Does Marcus Smart prioritize wanting to be on a winning basketball team like the Miami Heat or stay and make sure he's guaranteed $20 million next season? Smart is the perfect style of guard to pair alongside Herro in the backcourt, especially considering Terry Rozier's struggles this season. As previously mentioned, he is a former DPOY who can score and make plays for his teammates when needed. The only major concern is his ability to stay healthy, appearing in 19 games this season and 20 the previous. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Marcus Smart? Leave your opinion in the comments.